Spiritual Psychics TV, bringing spiritual people together.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wimbledon Spiritualist Church and our Sunday Divine Service. And I extend a warm and loving welcome to any newcomers to our service this morning. And we have a small congregation here this morning as well. And I bid you all good morning. Our medium this morning is very proud to say my son, or our son, I think my wife has something to do with it, Ashley Robinson. He will be our medium this morning. And we've just returned the last couple of days from a lovely week in Bath, Bristol, Wales. Had a fantastic time. And I went into Wells Cathedral and my grandson Ethan said to me, "Grandad, can I ask you a question?" So I said, yes. He said, "Is this your new church? Because it suits you better. It's big." I said, "I think the Bishop of Wells might have a bit of a question to do with that," but he quite liked that. And we've had a lovely time and lovely break with all three grandchildren. And there's a lovely new picture we've taken of the three grandchildren, Rachel took, which I'll share with everybody on my Facebook page later today. But it's a brilliant picture, it really is. This world of ours is in a very dark place at the moment because of Afghanistan and what's going on with the fires around Europe and North America. So let's try and make this service an hour of power where we send out our love and strength to everybody who's in need. We can't and not going to discuss the complex nature of the politics of what's happening in Afghanistan because that's not in our remit. But today we wish to discuss and pray for all those who are in need in Afghanistan, those who have come over, that little child that fell out of a window in Sheffield during the week. And there's so much going on in this world where we as spiritualists can make a difference through prayer and intercession with spirit and the spirit world. So friends, let's make this service a part of healing energies to the world. And I wish you all a great service, a great time. I now ask Ashley to open with prayer.
Please join me as we open the service in prayer. Mother, Father God, we ask your continued guidance as you watch over this physical and virtual congregation today. We ask that you help our guides and inspirers bring forward our loved ones so they may give us their evidence of their life after life. We recognize the power of unconditional love and that today we are working in that love and that light and hopefully laughter, bringing some uplifting thoughts and feelings and a smile on people's face. Mother, Father God, Amen.
Friends, let's keep that prayerful thought at the moment and pray for those who are in need. Some of these names have come in this morning, and if I catch any new names, I will add them to the prayer book during the service. But especially I want to pray for people in Afghanistan, both here, the Afghans in the UK, and around the world, and Afghan as a country itself. We pray for the storms in the United States of America on the East Coast, where lots of our friends in the Wimbledon Church are struggling through the East Coast winds. And also we think of the fires in Greece and the United States of America, and that people be protected by the love of the Spirit and comforted. We also pray this morning for my own Jackie, who's still suffering, Cherie, Maureen, Jo, who had a fall and she's in her 90s, Tina, Andy, Lisa, Mark and Eileen, Claire, the Payne family, the Demire family, Shirley and Babs. May healing go out to them. May they be healed and comforted by angels, and may their angels' wings embrace them and comfort them in their time of need. Into thy hands, O Lord, we commend the spirits of those people we have prayed for this morning. And may your love and your strength and your power go out to all parts of this world, renewing and refreshing and healing those who are in need. So mote it be. Let's say together the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you. Friends, I'd like to mention that if you wish to donate to the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, we have a PayPal account for that, and it is paypal.com, paypal.me/LAD promotion, which is part of the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. And I'd like to thank you all that have donated over the last few weeks, and both physically here in the church and throughout the virtual world. I really am grateful for all your donations. We've got a few repairs to be doing. You've heard me say this for the last 18 months, but we're gradually getting through our repairs. So I'm now going to ask Jim to go around with the offertory here. George is going to go around with the offertory. Change your person. George, if you can do that. And I'm now going to say hello to a few names on screen.
Richard, we can't see the names at the moment. If not, I can give Dad a cue. Unless you can change the view. Okay. Yeah, we've lost the. Yeah, we've lost the comments. I'll do it from my phone. Okay. Well, Stace, there we go. I think the comments are coming up now. Something's coming in. Stace Shaw, welcome to you. Livy, hi Livy. Says good morning to everybody in the SPTV and Wimbledon family. Everyone is having a lovely morning. Kind blessings to us all. Julie Caswell says good morning. Hiya, Julie. Kim Fandana. Hiya, Kim. Welcome. Pamela Watson. Evening from Australia, New South Wales. Hi. And Sarah Burston. We've got other people in the church. I'm just going to do first name. Sharon. Hi. And Lenka. Marcus Lupsa online. Owen and George in the church. Cheryl Flint online on YouTube today. Livy says good morning to Ray only. That's a third comment. Just saying hello to everybody. And we got Owen and Shirley, Phil in the church, Laurie Garner on Facebook joining us today. Both obviously my mum's in the kitchen. Chris and Dave Schatz from Cyprus. Hiya, Chris and Dave. Rich Grunny says good morning to everybody. Stephen Kelly at the church. Hi. Trish Woods on Facebook. Jim here in the church today. Debbie Ace, on Facebook. Kat Hodge on Facebook. Hiya, welcome. Great to see lots of new names today. Poppyfields Huskins, Glennis. Hi. Bernie's there as well. Hi, Bernie. Caroline on Facebook says, good morning, everyone from Dagenham, Essex. Great opportunity, really, with this church to have our physical congregation. Great to see everybody. And then to have all these virtual congregation. Michelle on Facebook too. Hiya, Michelle. I know people in Wimbledon have actually travelled, not necessarily from just round the corner. Mary Ward. Hiya, Mary, down in Kent. Hiya, Mary. And other people in the church that I haven't said hello to. Hi, welcome everybody. Val Apperton's on YouTube this morning watching the service. Okay, great. You got the comments now.
Thank you very much. Another thing we'll be doing here this morning, we've got a microphone that'll be going round. So if anybody in the church receives a message, I'm going to hand them the microphone and they're going to answer. You should be able to hear them online as well. Ashley will be attempting to give readings to both people here in the church and online. And I'm now going to ask Ashley for his reading for the morning. After that, he will give the address.
Thank you. Like the overweight Chuckle Brothers today with me and my dad, isn't it? To me, to you, to me, to you. Well, I'm certainly overweight. You're losing a lot of weight, but the Chuckle Brothers were quite slim. I don't think we could get away with being the Chuckle Brothers, but yeah. Maybe they're fat cousins. I said it would be an uplifting service, didn't I, today? Well, folks, the reading I would like to give, it's from a book which I just felt inspired and drawn to in our church sanctuary. It's called The Psychic Life of Jesus. And I feel an inspired address sort of coming on. So I just want to read a couple of bits from this book. Miracles are unclassified phenomena. They are not unnatural. They are not supernatural. They are super normal. Yesterday's miracles are today's natural laws. For most natural laws are spiritual laws. For man and woman is spirit. The Reverend Maurice Elliott said, Jesus came to reveal God to the people and people to themselves. Jesus taught people that they could be as he and do the work that he did, if only they would think as he thought, trust as he trusted, pray as he prayed. The church, and I think the church here is more of an umbrella term to Christianity and all of the various branches, but the church, in ascribing the miracles of Jesus to his Godhead, has made a fatal mistake. She, the church, has divorced Jesus from the rest of humanity. Had she ascribed his miracles to his perfect manhood, she might then have conceived the possibility of men and women being able to do at least some of the works that he did. And this book, where I've taken the address from, is a humble attempt to show that all of the so-called miracles of Jesus were performed in complete accordance with law. Sometimes natural law, sometimes physical law, sometimes spiritual law, and sometimes all three, but always in accordance with the law. There is much that the church has taught men about Jesus, and they cannot understand. But men are beginning to understand what Jesus taught them about themselves, about the power of thought, the power of trust, the power of prayer. And they are beginning to realize that these powers are God-given. From the healing of the sick in body, mind, and spirit. And they are exercising these powers. They are doing the works that Jesus did. Signs are following them because they believe. This book is enthralling as it is intriguing and so enlightening. In short, it casts new light on Jesus and the so-called miraculous events that surrounded his life. Now, that's not actually from the book, it's the synopsis of the book. And I just want to read the first paragraph before giving you a bit of an address. Because of the date that this book was published, you already pick up on the masculinity, the he's and the him. Of course, I've tried wherever possible to represent that as he and she, for I think it recognizes no gender. Jesus is reported to have said, "He that believeth on me, the works that I shall do, he do also, and greater works than that I shall do, he will do. And the signs such as the healing of the sick would follow them that believed." Jesus healed the sick. It was one of his works. The church, while professing to believe in Jesus, does not heal the sick, does not do his works. But according to Jesus, if the church believed the sick would be healed, he said so. The healing of the sick was to be the sign of the belief. How comes it then that a church with the New Testament in hand makes no attempt as a body to do all of the work that Jesus did? The reason is surely this. For centuries, the church has regarded Jesus as a miraculous person who performed miracles. This belief has made it almost impossible for the church to believe that Jesus really meant what he said. She admits that the disciples performed miracles of healing, and there were the signs and wonders in the early church. But she attributes these miracle working powers either to the exceptional gifts or the exceptional faith from the disciples, those early disciples. Or so she regards these miracle working powers as functioning only during the dispensation of the signs and wonders, which she would like to begin with a beginning period to divine service in church. And I think that for those that have watched any of my philosophy talks, rings a lot of sense with this. And there's a brilliant YouTube video entitled, "Was Jesus a Medium?" Now, of course he was. Although this church is not a Christian spiritualist church, it certainly had affiliations too. And you'll note that the stained glass behind us and the signs around that says that we as a church, as a principle, accept the leadership, the teachings of Jesus. And I believe that Jesus was a human incarnation, a wonderful human incarnation, a wonderful leader with wonderful teachings. But one of the things I think Jesus started to do in his incarnation was talk about the concept of inherited spiritual gifts. The fact that we all had this power, we all had this ability, we could all act as a medium. For the power of prayer was universal. It was about our intentions and about the way that we wanted to live our lives, the way we wanted to do our work. And Jesus, as a human incarnation, was here to show that as a human, we were all capable of working with that energy, with that love to do those things. In spiritualism, we practice the power of prayer all the time. Most of us that have grown up or been enthralled with spiritualism as a fine through our life would recognize that power of prayer. Indeed, a few moments ago, we took some time out to send absent healing thoughts. We have teaching here to become a spiritual healer, to practice the hands-on aspect. I was talking to George earlier on about the wonderful teachings of the Harry Edwards Spiritual Sanctuary down in Sheer and the great work done there. But just imagine the power of everyone understanding that everyone had that ability, had that opportunity to work with the love, to work with the energy. And I want to do some more research into this book because although for a long time people have often spoke about spiritualism and science and Christianity not being compatible, actually for me, it's all coming together. And I think science, as they edge forward in their attempt to prove energy and to prove an experience and understanding of the universe, scientists are coming very, very close to proving spiritualism is a scientific explanation of the way the universe works, the energy around us. Now, scientists might not care to actually represent the fact that they are about to prove the existence of what we call God or the divine or spirit, but that's exactly what they're edging close to do. And that aspect of metaphysics, because in simple terms, and I'm not a metaphysics scientist, it's energy, it's love, it's that power of love. And for me, 2,000 years ago, that's exactly what Jesus was there to show what was capable in our lives, in this incarnation. For we only get to live this life once, but we live it every single day. And therefore, everything we do, there is a cause and effect. Every intention, every act, recognizing that we have our own free will and we have a responsibility, a personal responsibility. This, to me, within spiritualism, makes it even more precious to understand how we use these spiritual gifts. And although reincarnation is not something which is part of my spiritualism, it's very much part of my understanding and that concept of reincarnation. But the focus to me is on this life. If we were meant to know a lot about all of our previous lives, assuming they're possible, we would be born with that knowledge. What we do have is the ability to work with the spiritual gifts. And even though we'd need to go into some sort of deep regression to think about our past life experiences, those spiritual gifts that we either progress through the different incarnations, or even in this life right now, those are the gifts that we can work with. So I'm blessed to know about some of those spiritual gifts, the gifts of healing, the gifts of inspired thinking and talking and writing, understanding that my friends, my loved ones, my inspirers can come close to me if only I recognize that they are there and they are experiencing a life after the life they had as a human being. For the difference of a human being and a corpse is the absence of that soul, the absence of that personality. So as they step forward, another spiritual gift, and they give us evidence of that life after life, is not to dawn in the past. That is their evidence. That is their verification. We should always test our communicator. They're there to tell us there is a life after life. But you don't experience it in the same way you experience it right now, in the third dimension. So friends, in closing, I want to say, just keep on keeping on. Know where you're going. Call that paradise, utopia, but know there will be a life after this life. But the experiences in this life make us stronger. They are a foundation for an onwards, upwards, and rising trajectory. So keep going forward. Keep heading in that direction that you feel inspired to go, and know that you're well trained, well equipped, and well guided. Thank you, friends.
Don't clap him. You'll encourage him to be more rude to me. Well done, son. Very proud. Very proud. Seriously, very proud. Right, friends, we're now coming to that part of the service where Ashley will attempt to bring the two worlds just that little bit closer. If he does come to you, please answer clearly yes or no within the church. I'm going to come around with a microphone in a moment. I've got hand wipes to wipe it all down. Also, online, if Ashley comes to you, when you're saying yes to something, please be clear on what you're saying yes to. Or if you're saying no, please also be clear. Ashley, one of these meetings is not afraid of a no. He doesn't like them, but he's not afraid of them. So, friends, I hand you back to my son, who's very proud dad here this morning, Ashley Robinson.
Oh, thank you. Lovely. You're getting to test the crowd mics. You said to Richard, we've got the crowd mics on today to pick up the ambience of the church. So hopefully people online are picking up on that ambience and that wonderful love we're experiencing in the church today. I just wanted to read a comment there that James had put on from Facebook. He was talking, and I have to get Dad to tell me that I'm pronouncing this right, Yeehaw the Christ. Jesus, another name for Jesus, I thought so. Yeah, the Aramaic name. He was clairvoyant. He saw the future. He was clairsentient. He knew. He was a powerful psychic medium. His transfiguration. He spoke to Moses. He was the empath. He felt the emotions of others. He was the distance healer. The centurion's servant was healed from them. So, just a nice bit of feedback there from James. And, there's going to be more of the Bible I think I need to decode. I think I was put off by the Bible quite early as a child because I went to a brilliant youth club that was run by born-again Christians. And I spoke so proudly about my spiritualism. For them to say, oh, you like spiritualism, don't you like religion? We'll give you a couple of things to read in the Bible. And, of course, they signposted me to the bits of the Bible that they wanted to believe in that time. And it kind of put me off the Bible for a long time. But as an older man now, of course, I'm finding that there are other bits of the Bible that contradict with exactly what the born-again Christians wanted to say, disproved spiritualism. So I will continue on with that research. And spiritual gifts. So let's try and give you, lovely people, some evidence of life after life. And I've got a man that comes forward with me. This man has a pencil-thin mustache, although he was calling it a moustache. I think he's just being very cheeky and he's quite funny. He stands to attention as well, and I've got the feeling of service with him. I've got shiny buttons, and I feel like he's standing to attention, almost in like a dark green, I want to say perhaps army, but services uniform, and officer, he said, with this mustache. This man is he was a father, grandfather, and now a great-grandfather. He's given me the letter J. J for Joseph, perhaps. I'm hearing with him, Joseph. St. Helens as well. He was talking about St. Helens, and I think he's taking me out towards the Caribbean as he was just showing that on a map. I think St. Helens would also be significant to this person. I think he was talking about Frank Street as well, old Frank Street. Yeah, and there's the St. Helier estate, which is not as far or exotic, but just round the corner. Yeah, there is St. Helens up north. He was showing me that on that map, though. So I think Helen is certainly important to him. And I do think there was this links to the Caribbean, but it's possibly just taking us to warmer climates. But someone would understand this man as family. I think I'm possibly online, as I'm being directed online. This would be family to you. This would be someone you would recognise as a grandfather. And I feel like I'd be communicating with a female. This would be a granddaughter of him. You'd understand this man in the services. He's telling me about his heart. He's talking about passing with heart failure and this memory of Frank Street. I think it's Frank Street that he would have possibly lived at. Okay. You take the description of the person. You take everything apart from Frank Street, Sharon. Okay, right. Let me try and get some more information. Nothing's coming in online at the moment. And his name was Jim. Okay, so you'd understand that J. Right. The street. I feel like I'm franking. This to be postal or something. I feel like I've had a job where I'm doing something, some type of stamping or processing on this. He was a military policeman. Okay, right. Then is it okay if I work with you, Sharon? Is the mic on? Because I turned it off. Okay, that's all right. You won't hear it in here. It's just for online. So hopefully viewers at home can hear Sharon saying yes as well. We thought we'd experiment with a new experience today. Okay, Laurie online also had a grandfather called Joseph. Son was Frank in the army. Laurie, I think I am with Sharon. I did say I might be online, so let me just try and give some more information. Did you understand the Helen or the St. Helens link as well with him?
The only thing I can take is he was in air, so that's the only thing I can take.
Okay. And you understood the grandfather figure then with the passing of the heart failure. All that made sense.
Yeah, the heart failure.
Okay. Okay, Laurie, I may have a split communication. I may come to you next, but I'm going to work with Sharon right now. And as this man comes forward, the mustache felt like an officer thing. It felt like I was allowed to grow a mustache once I became an officer, almost like it was a sign of you had to grow it because you weren't allowed to before. It had to be totally clean shaven. He's saying not as scruffy as I am today. I did have a shave today. I've tried. But he's disciplined. I feel like he wants to tuck my shirt in and straighten me up a little bit and stand tall. But a lovely man. I feel like although he's critical of me, it's almost in the way a teacher would be. That I want to listen and nurture and learn from him. Does that make sense? It can be critical. Okay. I've got my opinions, he says, and my opinions weren't always right, but they were right to me. And I was, it's that army thing, but I would entrench myself. I would dig in, fix bayonets, tin hat on, and I wouldn't often budge off my opinion, even if I was wrong. You'd understand that with him? Okay. And folks online, hopefully you're hearing me, but it'd be good to get some feedback that perhaps you're picking up on the ambience of the church as well. So do let Richard know. Light. We can't. Is the mic definitely on? Okay.
Yeah, it's got red light on.
Okay. Laurie's saying we can't hear Sharon in the church. No, I turned it down. Okay. I'm going to try and multitask, which is always a bit difficult. So I want to carry on talking to you, Sharon. He was showing me what looks like an interrogation light, because he was turning the light towards you, as if it feels like you're under interrogation at the moment, that you're being bombarded. That's what he was just saying. But okay, and he's wanting to give you more of an opportunity to break away from that. And he keeps giving these flashbacks as if it feels like an interrogation. Okay, you understand what he's trying to say. Need a break. Give her a break. She needs a break. Callous. There's something about this person as well. They have a callous intention, he was just saying. He doesn't trust them. And he says, you felt that instinct as well. There's something not quite right. They're purporting to be one thing, and they're you feeling something else. There's an underlying condition, like they're trying to trick you or catch you out on something. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. And he's sorry for that. Yes, that's me. That's me trying to multitask. Not fair. And I don't trust them. You're right not to trust them, but just keep on keeping on. Stick to your light and your truth. Ignore the light that is behind them, for the light is trying to cover the shadows that they are operating and working in. Was it Bob? Bobby? Bob. He was just in there. Bobby. Bobbing up and down. Bobbing. No, this is something to do with some sort of knitting or weaving. What is he saying? Talk to me, friend. I think the mic might be on mute, Dad, because it's not coming up on the church either. There's another button that takes it off mute once it's on. Bob. No, is it done? No, it's a hairstyle. Sorry, he's giving me all these different symbols. There is a lady with the bob hair. There we go, it's working now. Okay, folks, so hopefully those online will now start to hear some yeses too.
1, 2, 1, 2.
The lady with the bob.
Is she on here?
No, up here with me now. Okay, I don't know if this was this grandmother. There's a picture. My wife, his wife. So his wife, and she's got a bob. Okay, why are you telling me that? Okay. Right, he was listening to the address and he was talking about the experience. Okay, and he's all right. Okay, he's not telling me I'm wrong, but he's telling me I'm wrong because he's saying that we experience things differently over here. It's not the same as the 3D experience, but he's saying she's got a bob and she never had a bob, and she doesn't even have a body, but she has a spiritual body and she has a bob haircut with that body. Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah, well, it goes back to his being stuck on his opinions, and wanting to change that. But he was just sort of saying, yeah, okay. So I don't think he is contradicting my address, but he's like, no, you're slightly wrong. I want to correct you, and I want to make sure that you understand that we have this spiritual body, and she has a lovely bob, and she never had a bob before, so it's not a memory. It's a different type of existence in this life after life. Okay. People are saying that they can hear online now. Great as well. Well, thank you, Sharon. Badge. Award you this badge. There's a badge that he had a medal. I want to put it on your left breast as opposed to your right breast. I feel like someone is planning to wear this in November. Someone wants to wear a medal that I had. Okay. I'm pleased and proud of that. Now, I've turned it down in the church so it doesn't echo, but we know it's working online. Multitasking, I can do it after all. Don't tell my wife, she'll have me doing more than one thing at the same time. I struggle with that. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Sharon, that was your message.
Thank you very much.
That's great. You're very welcome. Now, Richard, you have to bring up the past comment. There was a lady that, was it Torrey? I'm seeing Torrent. Yes, I've got another grandfather figure here. My grandfather is Joseph, son was Frank in the army. Okay, hi Laurie. Why did I want to call Torrey as well? It was just the way I was hearing it. Okay, Laurie, I'd like to just work with you very quickly. So I had this other man here that was claimed to be grandfather. You understand the J with him, the Joseph, the son was Frank in the army. There was also this element of him wanting to address Laurie. Frank, I feel like Frank would still be alive. You'd understand that, Laurie. Dad. Talking about your dad, okay? Uncle Frank, your dad. There's a problem there that he was just talking about between your dad and I think Frank. And is it be Frank? Your dad may be Frank. I don't know if he's saying your dad needs to be more Frank, or your dad and Frank are not communicating properly. Laurie, would you understand that? It's like he's calling it non-compliance, a very strange word. Non-compliance. What do you mean? They're not doing what each other instinctively need to be doing for each other, Laurie. Like this would be your dad and perhaps Uncle Frank, or dad is Frank. If you can give me some confirmation about that. But he's basically saying he wants to bang heads together. I feel like I do have the two boys. I don't know if this is grandchildren. No, you're one of his grandchildren. I've got great grandchildren. I've got the two boys that he was just talking about. Wonderful, he said, absolutely wonderful, these grandchildren. So folks in the church, this message is for Laurie online on Facebook. We've got his grandfather here, Joseph, that's coming through. It's talking about his son. It's talking about Frank. But he's also talking about his grandchildren and the boys. And wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Into everything. I've got two little boys that are into everything. Often involves destruction and love. And he's just saying, yes. Laurie's saying past. Okay, thank you for that confirmation. He's talking about the boys then. So this would be, I've got a grandson. I don't know if this is your son. Wonderful. He's just saying into everything and inquisitive. And I feel that me talking about the army link, there was something here with who would be my great grandson now, Laurie, that he was just talking about there, me being remembered to him. And I quite like this photograph of me. No, it's a photograph of my son in the army. Was it the son that was in the army as well that was passed? Okay, yeah, he was just talking about that. And I feel like there's a remembrance there. That would be Frank. Perhaps in this, yes, okay. So granddad in the spirit world. I've also got this male that he's talking about being his son in the spirit world with him, and he's talking about a photograph of his son and his great grandson, being aware about that and enjoying the photos and some similarities, some characteristics. There's something about the jawbone and the chin being this sort of fun resemblance. Laurie says she has two boys in the house, great grandson and grandson. Okay, great, thank you. That's the confirmation there. And he's talking about the photograph, and you'd understand that link then with the army. I feel like I've got two generations of the army. He was just talking about the St. Helens, the Caribbean link, Laurie. I feel like I want to take, wouldn't it be nice if we could do that with a spiritual gift? I'll fly you out to the Caribbean with a spirit. But he wants to take you there. He wants to take you towards the sun and the sand and the sea. And he's talking about you grounding yourself, Laurie. He's talking about toes and your fingertips within the sand and being connected back to earth, that you need this. You need this investment back into you. And he's sort of saying that being like a powerhouse for you, Laurie. And he's saying he wants you to do that. Go out into the, I want to call it the backyard. I don't know if you understand these links to America, Laurie. I'll call it the backyard, and ground yourself. Go out to the backyard and ground yourself. He's talking about across the pond as well, Laurie. So I don't know if that would make sense, because he keeps making this reference. I feel like I've got an American influence with him. But ground yourself. Okay, you've been updating something, Laurie. Looks like a CV or an application for a job. Yes, you need that very much. Thanks for the confirmation, Laurie. Something about your CV. It looks like a CV. As I've got jobs, I've got education, I've got experience on there. And he's like, I'm jotting it down a line, and he's just talking about you needing that investment so you can bring all of yourself to that. You need to be more authentic. Get that out on paper. Let them see all of you, the true you, and bring all of you to that. And he feels there'll be opportunities coming your way based on what you're doing. You're doing everything you need to do to get yourself on, Laurie. Okay, that was your message from your grandfather. Thank you. Got someone that's, I'm tone deaf, or he really wants me to. It's like it's going do 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 do. So it starts do 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 do, and it's just over in my head. And he's sort of like walking down the corridor like Darth Vader, and in sort of the room and moving things out of his way. This is a man. As this man is communicating with me, again, sort of making fun. This guy's very cheeky and funny. He's saying about listening to my address. He said, "You think you've got some spiritual gifts down there?" He said, "I am Darth Vader now. I can move things with the power of my mind. I must not be tempted by the dark side." So I've got a man here. He's talking about being a dad. He certainly loved his Star Wars, and he's got a great sense of humor. He's quite fun, and he's a Mickey taker. He is taking the Mickey out of this to a little bit, because he's like, didn't really understand how this was going to work. But for me, is my death march as I sort of walk in. I can empower myself for that. And there's also something about that link, that love of Star Wars, and that love of, strange, not many people say the love of Darth Vader, but there's the story there about the dark side. So someone would understand this man who is father. There's more to this story around Darth Vader. Sheena says, sounds like your dad, but I've got a burn on my right hand around my thumb and wrist with this man. He said, not quite as bad as Darth Vader, but there's also something about being drawn to the dark side in my life. I feel like I've dipped in my life, and I die regretted. I die with detriments of my character, but I was able to recognize them. I've got this smell of alcohol and tobacco with him, all of which he's saying to me he experimented with in extremes, particularly the alcohol. And I feel this represents the dip in my life, this drawn to the dark side. But I feel me coming out of it, a sober mind he was just talking about there. So I'm looking for... I've had heart failure. I've also had some type of pneumonia type condition on my chest and on my lungs. Okay, I'm on the chair on some. Now, Sheena, you said it sounds like your dad. Does it still sound like your dad? I'd want this father figure here with the heart failure, the pneumonia type condition, possibly someone that has battled with alcoholism or has certainly been a heavy drinker, and this opportunity to improve in my latter part of my life. And I've got this liking of Star Wars. I know people on YouTube are about 20, 30 seconds behind. So Sheena said he died without being allowed to say goodbye to me. Okay. Try not to feed me information. I made a joke about me being overweight earlier on. You don't need to feed me. But Sheena, do give me confirmation online about the things that I've said. They would all need to still make sense to you. Okay. He was saying, that's all right. You said it first. I said I died regretted. Part of that was this disconnection and me not being all of myself all of the time. Sheena said he had a chest problem. Okay. And Sheena, I assume you're able to say yes to everything else around the sort of the Star Wars I feel like I've burnt myself. I don't know if it was a pan of some sort that I was maybe cooking with, and I've burnt myself. And there's an element of my mind, my psychological mind being affected, and my physical body towards the end of my life. My competence being at question here, Sheena. I'll be looking for you to understand that as well. Urdu. He's just saying Urdu. What are you talking about? Urdu. He's talking about a language. Okay, I don't know if you'd understand this links to bilingual. He's saying we don't need an interpreter. He was talking about a different language. I think it sounded like he was saying Urdu. He's trying to yes, he was a heavy smoker and drinker. Okay, thank you, Sheena, for that information. Yeah, he put his hand in the chip pan. Okay, right, great. Thank you for that confirmation. Well, you understand then, as Dad's coming through, I don't know if you understand about this language as well. He said it would have been a language barrier. You talk too fast for me, he was saying, but funny and quite a charming sort of guy that has lived. He's talking about 3 different categories or phases of his life. He's got his cultural foundations. He's got his own free will and accord, which he said took him on a dip and a dive into the darkness, as he describes it. But he talks about coming out towards the light at the end of his life, trying to live a different life. He's also talking about the fact that I feel we were physically separated. Not only was language a barrier, there was something that stopped us from being able to talk. I'm making reference to that because I didn't know I was about to go when I went. Okay, he was just saying to me, didn't know I was about to go when I went, and I didn't get everything in order. I wasn't able to say all of those things I wanted to say. Part of that would have been, he's talking about an acceptance of me recognizing the detriments of my life. I feel there's an element of me trying to work the steps of recovery here, me trying to see the bits of my personality that weren't quite right and the things I wanted to do differently, Sheena. You have asked me, you have provoked me. He was in England, I'm in Scotland. Okay, Sheena, you understand then that travel distance. Don't know if you understand, he's still making reference. There's some type of language barrier. I don't know if he was just, was it me physically being able to speak? He keeps talking about his head and his mind as well. And if there was a problem with me speaking or there was a barrier there, I struggled but language, I don't need the interpretation. I don't need an interpreter now. I can just communicate. I'm talking as I live this life after I live this life. Okay. I want family were kept apart. Okay, thank you, Sheena. He's widening your base. Okay, your feet are now slightly wider than shoulder width, and he's talking about wanting to stabilize you. It's almost like I'm at sea and I'm trying to find my sea legs, but he's trying to give you this sort of pyramid concept of grounding yourself out and bending your knees and just getting your balance. He's putting your left foot forward and he's like, left foot forward, look, turn, face that light, feet slightly wider than shoulder width, balance yourself out. You've got this, Sheena, you can do this. Just reset, stabilize, recognize this as a new opportunity, as a new placeholder. Where you are is wobbly, so take a step off of your left foot. Okay, Shane, I don't know if you'd understand this Masonic link with him as well, the Freemasons. He was just giving me this little plant of seed because he was squaring his feet and stepping off of his left, and he was just giving me this link to the Freemasons. And I've certainly got what would look like a Scottish Rite emblem of some sort. So, Shane, I hope that makes sense to you. But he's like, you do this, forward, left foot in front, step off of your left, chin up, girl, forwards, onwards, upwards. Okay, he's paraphrasing my address now. Absolutely. You know where you're going. Keep going there. But you need to move on. Where you're right now doesn't feel stable. He had cancer in the head and throat. Okay, thank you, Sheena. So that would understand. We're talking about the psychological and the ability to speak. Thank you for that confirmation. Yeah, I just need to get you moving again. Sheena, I need to get you moving again. His father was a Mason. Okay, thank you, Sheena, for that confirmation. So keep moving, darling. He said, keep moving onwards, forwards. You've got this. Your instinct is right. Trust it and just keep moving forward. You don't need to know where you're going to end up. You just need to know the next step, and you can take it, Sheena. That was your message. Thank you very much. Okay. Shirley, I think I'm actually with you, because I've just had in my mind's eye like a little robin come down and tap the thing, and I said, "Is that you?" And then he tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "No, this is me. That was just a bird." And it's just exactly his sense of humour. So, Shirley, I believe I've got a man here claiming to have been your partner, Robin. Not to be outdone, he said, "I was here earlier." He said there was 2 soldiers. I had to go and get dressed up. So he's come back in his Scout's uniform, and he's put his woggle on. He said, "I can look just as smart." And he's also talking about his spiritual body, Shirley, and he's taken a lot of weight off, he tells me, around his midriff. He wasn't happy with that. You understand? He was talking about, I was a much slimmer, faster, fitter man in my peak, and now I've got the opportunity to create a spiritual body. I'm a lot slimmer. He said, "I like to think I'm better looking as well, but you understand that inner beauty." He said, "I wasn't much of an oil painting to look at." That's what his words, okay? Understand that. He's comparing war stories with the guy that had the lung problem. He said, "You think you had a lung problem when you died?" He said, "I lived through my lung problem." And he's sort of comparing notes. And as he does this, Shirley, he's doing it with fun. Okay, they're all having a bit of a laugh and a giggle. The soldiers are taking the mickey out of his Scout's uniform. He said, "Baden Powell was a soldier. This was all about resilience." So he's going through the history, and they're having some fun telling these stories. Okay, now Shirley, I know you. I've known you all my life, and I'm quite proud to have had that. And I know that you've just had a fall recently. And he said, "You've got to stop worrying about what's going on in your mind and just focus on the body." He's talking about understanding your limitations is one thing, but don't dwell on them. Okay, he's talking about you keep thinking about all the things you can't do. You need to think about all the things you are doing and you can do. He said, "You are still my hero. You had said that when I'd gone, you wouldn't be able to get out and do things." And did you get on a bus today? He's talking about you getting out on something about the bus stop not being available. There we go. Because the bus stop wasn't available. Right, so he's saying you can do that. Ask and accept the help. Accept the help. It's okay to accept help because they are enablers. Think of He said, think of them as your WD-40 to loosen you up and get you going forward again, because you need that. Have that confidence and look at all the things you do. You might be slower and you might have less confidence, but you're overtaking. He said, you're overtaking that bloke that sat on a couch, okay, at home. Right. You're overtaking them. There's a man at home that sat on the couch not doing anything. Okay, he says, you've overtaken him, you've lapped him 3 times. So you might be slow, but you've lapped him 3 times, okay? So enjoy those moments. Keep going forward, Shirley. Sheena says, "Thank you very much." And folks, hopefully you can hear. Shirley's saying the right things and she's laughing. I think we're giving her the emblance of the wood badge. Look after it. Okay, that's funny. I don't even know if you know this, Shirley. So I think you might be going to church. But one of Robin's Scouts achievements was what's called a wood badge, which I have at home. And he was just talking about his wood badge, because he's also got a medal, some sort of, is it a silver wolf or something? Would you have understood that? It's become a bit of a competition up in the waiting room in heaven today, and everyone's talking about their medals, and he's now talking about his silver wolf and his wood badge. But he's talking about achievements, okay, and he's talking about the fact that he was glad he was able to do those things, and there was something about him enabling others. I don't actually know where Robin was originally from, but he's taking me towards Putney at one point. Would you understand that links to Putney with him? And I think this is within the scouting. He's talking about... Yeah, he said he told you. You've probably forgotten. He has forgotten. But he told you. Something about Putney. And there's his underprivileged kids. There's something about him. He told you about that, taking these kids, these rough kids, knocking off the edges and making them smoother, but taking good kids and making them better adults, okay? And he enjoyed that more than anything. It was about enabling the adventure. He says, you're still on an adventure. You've got more than just the last chapter. You've got a whole story to tell. Enable people to enable you. You have to let them in and just keep on keeping on. All right, Shirley? That was your message from Robin. Okay. You've got it now, he said. Boom. You've got it now. I can't say that. He just said, shut up, woman. I'm not going to say that. That's what he said. You're going to listen to him. You can't talk back because you can't hear his reactions, but he's saying, listen to him. You've got this. Believe in yourself. Let others help you. That's your WD-40. Otherwise, he'll turn up with a spiritualist crowbar and get you up and get you moving, okay? That was your message. He sends you his love, Shirley. I send you my love too. That was a message for Shirley in the church. Robin Woodham says, Robin is always with Shirley. Love never dies. That's from Christine Woodham in Spain. Thank you there, Christine. Bees, everything today with robins. I've got bees buzzing around my head, and I've got. You have to introduce. I've got someone that is dressed like a beekeeper. Not like a beekeeper. They're wearing a beekeeper's outfit. They're not pretending to be one. I think they were one. They're giving me this beekeeper's outfit. Quite an old-fashioned sort of style. Almost looks like a fencing helmet that they're sort of wearing. I've got someone that would have worked with bees. I think I'm online with a lady. I'll be online with a lady that would understand this man in the spirit world that is claiming to be family. He is talking about a cancerous type condition that he's passed with. He's talking about beekeeping at some point in his life. Talking about the smoke. Something, it's like he's smoking to calm down the bees and getting the honey. Okay, so I'm online. I'll be looking for a lady. This would be dad, maybe granddad. You talked about having grandchildren, but these could be your children. This man is family, father or grandfather. It'd be dad's dad. I've got this cancerous type condition. I think the cancer is around the top and bottom of my body. I feel this is like chest and stomach area, taking me right through to the sort of the belly button and my abdominal around there. So I want to understand this man, dad, granddad in the spirit world. Is it stomach cancer? Who's just telling me about that? I feel like I've had a spread. And the beekeeping, I want you to understand the beekeeping as well. So I'll give people a few seconds online to think of that, and I'll try and get a bit more evidence for you. Something about the right-hand side of my eye, above near my eyebrow, my eye. I feel like I can't open my right eye properly with this man. You'll understand. Problem with my eye. It's like my eyelid is really droopy, and I'm having problems. And I don't know if also the right-hand side of my body has been slightly affected here. Okay, the bees may be a totally different words. A smoke screen. Ignore the bees. I'm looking for someone who's online. I understand dad, granddad in the spirit world. It's a cancerous type condition, possibly around stomach, certainly body. And I've also had this problem with my right hand side of my body, particularly around my eye. Anyone in the church understand this?
Yeah, I can take the stomach cancer, and I wonder if you could too, because my uncle who died had a problem with the right side, when he died.
Right.
And the grandfather would be the one who does
The stomach cancer. Any love of beekeeping?
But there was also bees because I come from village. And
Right.
Honey.
Okay, let me see. Okay, the honey. Honey's important. The smoke was, there's something about this smoke as well as the smoke screen. Like I want to calm down the situation, and the smoke is to neutralize. Yes, right. Yeah, it's on. So you use it so people online can hear. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's try and pinpoint this then and get a little bit more information. Grandfather, stomach cancer, uncle affected on the right hand side of his body, particularly on the droopy eye. Okay. Uncle related to, this is his son, this is granddad's son. Okay. Your dad's brother. Okay. So this is dad's dad on that side of the family. And the honey, the church, the honey we sold at the church.
Possibly my uncle used to go to the church, and my grandfather was very spiritualist.
Okay.
There always was honey around, and the people in the village had the honey.
Okay, Lenka, I think I'm with you then. That makes sense. If anyone understands some of this, because lots of splits, loads of people all trying to get in a message. Lulu was also saying my dad passed a cancer at spread throughout his body. He suffered a very watery eye during the treatment. Lulu, I don't think I am with you at the moment. Lenka, I'll carry on working with you. The smoke. I feel like I need to neutralise. There is an element of us selling the honey, getting your own honey locally and selling it, make a couple of quid for the church. But I'm turning up with the beekeeper's suit. Sorry? Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, my granddad, everyone on the church was know, granddad used to talk a lot in Cockney rhyming. He's talking about the bees and honey, the money, okay? And he was saying the money for the church. Okay, the smoke screen. I feel like I need to neutralise what could be quite an aggressive situation. And I feel that I want to take the sting out of someone. This would be a man in a professional link, but I've also got this element of spiritual with him. I feel like someone, right, okay, and I want to take the sting out of them. I want to neutralise them with this smoke. But I've turned up in my personal protective equipment to do so because I feel they've got a sting which would hurt. And therefore, I want to neutralise it. I want to calm things down. There's the links to that. And my granddad was just saying, yeah, the bees and the money. Get the money into the church. All the churches need the money. Yeah. Okay. So this message is for Lenka in the church. You understand this? The granddad that's brought then his uncle, your dad's brother through as well. I don't know if he's had a clot or something, your uncle. If he had a bleeding clot. Yeah, there's something with my blood, and he's talking about this clot. Okay, thank you for that confirmation. And people online, we're using the microphone again, so hopefully you're getting some of those yeses too. Bees and the money. Do it. Strike like the bees. Strike. Go for it. Neutralize the sting. Make your own strike. Go for it. Take the opportunity. Go for it. I'm wanting to push you forwards and elevate you forwards to fly. Move like a butterfly. Quoting Muhammad Ali, move like a butterfly, sting like a bee, but strike and break forward from the cocoon. It feels that you have been held back at the moment. I know that the physical situation from the pandemic has held a lot of us back, but it feels like you're breaking out of the cocoon and reaching out like a beautiful butterfly, spreading your wings. And he's like, and then sting like a bee. There's an opportunity will come up, and it's about understanding that and trusting your instincts. Go for it. You are more powerful than any of the tools. Okay, he's talking about the tools. The tools are important to you, and therefore the intention, the way that you use your tools is very important. But do not underestimate the power of the Spirit. Okay, he was just saying, the spiritual energy, the spiritual gifts. Don't underestimate the power of that. The tools enable you. Okay, she's talking to Robin now, he's getting influenced. There was just talking about Shirley enabling. Yeah. They're a tool. They're a tool, and based on how you use any tool, it is not the tool, it is the person using it. It's the fleshy human being attached to the tool, and it's the power of the intention behind that to utilize the spiritual gift. You give a tool to someone that doesn't know how to use it, they'll do more damage, and they will use it perhaps as a solution to a problem where they need to recognize all of the things come together. It is the trade, it is the skill, it is people listening to the things that they must hear, not the things they want to hear. Okay? Okay. Go for it. Trust your instinct. You'll see the opportunity. Sting. Fly that beautiful butterfly. Spread your wings. Okay? You won't be so trapped. Thank you, Lenka. That was your message. Lulu. Oh, yeah. Sorry?
I think yours as well, because there was the bees and honey.
The bees and the honey, yeah. My granddad's, he wants the plate to go around again, Dad. Everyone put back in. Lulu online, I'll come to you, Lulu. You said your dad had passed with cancer. You understood that spread of the body as well. And you also suffered the watery eye treatment. I said I wasn't with you. And then as soon as Lenka's grandfather finished speaking, she says, yes, I am. I am here. Bring him back. Okay, Lulu, so you understand this man as granddad. I understand so much from this message, even though it's not for me, I'll just take comfort in it. Well, Lulu, it's because he was here, and he was here for you after all. So you obviously knew he was round with you. So Lulu, as your grandfather steps forward, and they're all having a good old chat today, My own guy Bob is saying we need to get the women in. All the old boys are having a bit of a jolly club today. There's tea and biscuits and lots of war stories. We need some female energy. And Lulu, as this man comes through claiming to be your granddad, he was talking about the cancer, and he's talking about spreading, and he's looking back and he goes, again, I could recreate my body without any of the imperfections, and I feel that this would give me a real gut problem. This really affected me, and I lived through the cancer a lot longer than when it killed me. He's talking about the cancer being quite aggressive and quite quick towards the end, but him living through what I've got like bowel and gut problems towards the end of my life, and it's like it limited me, and then boom, it spread and consumed me. It was very aggressive, very quite quickly towards the end. Lulu, he's also talking about something to do with your hair. I don't know if I'm something you've done with your hair. Look, I know I look really stupid now. He's just trying to burn. Have you burnt your... No, we don't ask questions. I'm going to tell you. He's telling me, Lulu, that you have burnt yourself recently on some sort of hair product. I don't know if you were straightening your hair, or you're doing something with the hair. I feel like I've got an element of colour involved in doing this, but I feel that I've either had some type of physical or chemical burn around my hand. Lulu, you'd be aware about this in the process. I don't know if you were doing your own hair or someone else's hair, or someone was doing this to your hair, and there was this like little pinch burn that he was just talking about. He was giving that as evidence as being close to you and around you. He's wanting to say that that didn't stop the treatment, and he carried on, and he wants to carry on with that theme of do not let any obstacle or any barrier stop you, prevent you. Stop, pause, circumvent, overcome, adapt, overcome, adapt. And he's saying that these barriers are put in front of you, Lulu, as an experience for you to overcome. It's for you to decide how to overcome, how to circumvent. And I want to push you forward, get closer to it, really understand what the obstacle is. And if you can't understand, take a step back, look at it again, look at the whole big picture. It might be quicker to go around, to circumvent, otherwise adapt. You can do this, Lulu, adapt, overcome, over the obstacle, over the barrier. Lulu says, straighteners, yes, you're confirming about the burn, and yes, this affected his stomach and he passed away quickly. Lulu, thank you very much for that verification. He was persistent, and he obviously gave you that clue that he was still here and he was going to give that message. A good cry. There's been a good cry. I'm feeling very emotional with him. He did carry on forward to the end. Okay, thank you, Lulu. There's been a big cry, and it's like he's done a real messy cry. I feel like I've had to blow my nose, and I couldn't face it. Lulu, you're saying that makes so much anger. So I couldn't face it. That you'd understand this. I feel it's either you or a lady very close to you sort of turned away. Have you encountered? Yeah, yes, you've encountered them crying, and it's been too much. They've not been able to face this. And you're holding hands, Lulu. This is important. You're holding hands, and you're taking this on together. There's two of you. There's another lady involved. Lulu's saying yes, many tears. Okay, thank you, Lulu. Together you're stronger. Okay, together you're stronger. Push forward together. Be there for each other. And just keep going around. Just get around this. I can't tell you it's going to be plain sailing, and there won't be other obstacles to overcome. There won't be other things to adapt to. But I do know from seeing where you are now, you have everything you need to overcome this barrier. Okay, Lulu? You will overcome this barrier. I believe in you, and I can see the path you're on. Just keep doing what you're doing. I believe in you. You need to believe in yourself, and you need to believe in each other. Okay, Lulu, he was just giving me these links to the Jewish faith as well, and he was talking about a synagogue. Is it a bar mitzvah? He was just talking about bar mitzvah. My pronunciation, I'm looking at my dad, my religious education advisor. Yeah, he was talking about this bar mitzvah. You would understand, I think, bar mitzvah perhaps in around this synagogue within the family. Okay, you understand. Lulu, thank you very much. That was your message. Okay, what time is it? One more? One more. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Lulu. Okay, I've got a... Right. Oops, yeah, I will do one, but it's all been male communicators, and Bob or someone need a lady. Right, I've got a lady here that's claiming to be mother, my daughter. I feel like I'm communicating with my daughter. You'd understand this lady. I think I'm in the church as well. I don't know if I'm over towards the right-hand side. Lady claiming to be mother. I've had something that's affected my chest, almost like fluid or something on my lungs, like a pneumonia type condition. I've had an infection of some sort, and I've been overrun and overwhelmed. Okay, I don't know if anyone in the church would understand this lady in the spirit world, mother that's had the lung infection around the lungs. The lady at the back of the church. Yeah, it's you. You're the back row. Hiya. Would you understand this lady in the spirit world, family that's had this infection or something on the chest?
I think my mother had an infection.
Yeah, it's the chest. Your mum had breathing problems. I'm a mother and I'm a grandmother, okay? This would be a lady that is either mum or mum's mum in the spirit world. Your mother in the spirit world? Your mum? Your mum's mum in the spirit world? Nan, so mum's mum. She here? Alive? Right. I've got multiple things going on around my body, and this lady said, well, I stopped breathing, which was one of the problems. She's quite sharp with her humour, but quite funny with it. She's talking about my heart stopped and my lungs stopped, but that's not what killed me. I don't know where I am at the moment. I'm over here. I'm split between the two ladies. I've certainly got I've got the skull and crossbones over my body, and I feel like I've got bad stuff happening inside me. I've got this cancerous type condition, but I've got this infection as well, and I feel like I've got problems with my breathing towards the end of my life. Do you understand that with your mum in the spirit world? Okay, then I'm not with you. And for the lady here says my nan had leukemia. I think I'm in the church, Lisa, but hang by. Mary Ward saying her mum had fluid around the lungs. I think I'm in the church. Let me carry on for the moment. Other people online, there's a few people saying they had problems. I want anyone online, if you're still saying yes in a couple of minutes, could be a split communication, but I need to say yes to everything because lady in the church is accepting everything. And you'd understand like this multiple sins. I feel like I've had lots of things let me down, and it's almost like I've had things shut down, and there's a sense of being overloaded, overrun, overwhelmed towards the end. Okay. Okay, strange thing to say. In the end, for me, although I didn't want to die, it was a bit of a relief to die. Okay, because I felt like I'd forgotten how much I was suffering. It just kept piling up. And it was when I left my physical body that I felt so alive after my death. And it was a sense of relief that I could feel like I was almost being restored and back to myself. And I want to give you that confirmation because there's an element of you knowing and recognizing that. But I feel that you've given me what feels like a bedside pep talk or a speech. There's something you said to me about moving on and into this new life after life. Do you understand that? Okay, which is giving you confirmation because I don't know if I was in and out of consciousness. It doesn't feel like I was fully aware and responsive to you, but I want to say that I heard it all and I absorbed it all. And there was an element of you almost making a sacrifice because there was a huge part of you that didn't want me to die, but to get better, but recognizing that my body was shutting down. And she said, you helped me move on because I felt like my body was a sinking ship. And actually, you helped me abandon ship and have a new life after life. And almost immediately, I inherit this wonderful spiritual body that had no problems whatsoever. And I feel that psychologically, there was a lot of education and investment you gave to me, some of which you didn't even talk to. It was almost from your mind to mind. You were sat next to me and you were talking to me. And I couldn't talk back, but I heard you. And I want to give you that confirmation of hearing that. There's an element of you holding my hand as well. And I don't know if I had a ring yes, there was a ring that was too big that was still on me. I don't know if I'm on my wedding ring finger, but there was a ring that didn't fit. And I feel that either at the end of my life, it's been taken off or added. There's something about my wedding ring finger and a ring that's too big. It didn't fit properly. You have it. You have the ring. Okay, she was just talking about that. But yeah, I remember you holding my hand and feeling that. Oh, she's just saying something about my temperature. She's saying it was almost like a switch went, and you knew the difference. You were with me right towards the end. She said it was like a switch, and it was almost like I could measure the difference of me being alive and dying, and then alive after my life after my life. And she's talking about the fact there was something in the hand to do with the temperature. The temperature changed almost immediately with my hand, and I felt like you were holding my hand. And there was something you did. Did you move? Is it my hair? You moved my left-hand side around my face. She was just saying, you moved my hair. You kissed me as well. You kissed her on the forehead. Yeah, she was just saying about that. And I moved my hair and kissed me on the forehead. And I felt like there was a temperature difference between my forehead and my hand. And my hands were cold. And I was a bit clammy upper body. Okay. And she was just saying it was almost like my life force was leaving my body and leaving out of my head. And that's the way I felt like I did it, almost as if my soul and consciousness left through my mind's eye back to that place that I call heaven, and she recognizes as a heaven, as a safe place. And she's talking about that life force, okay? And she's recognizing that, and she felt that there was this precious moment. She's talking about the kiss, and she's talking about saying thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for helping me on. And I feel like I know it was a sacrifice for you, because you desperately wanted me to be here and to be well. But it felt that you just acted so unselfishly for me. You wanted me to be out of suffering, and I want to tell you it was a huge relief. Thank you. Thank you for giving me that relief. If I could have stayed and repaired, I would have. The vessel was battle hardened, and there were lots of things that just couldn't be repaired. Thank you. Thank you for being there for me, and thank you for what you did. And I've heard it all, and I felt it all, and I know that love. I want to pick you up as well, because I know it's been a challenging time for you, but I want to say, much along the lines of what other people have sort of said in elements of that message, is that I want to pick you back up. I want to turn and face you towards the light. And she's, I don't know if you understand, I've got this Black Beauty horse in the film, and she's almost like just giving the back of this horse a little kick, a little slap on its bum, and she's like, on, come on, walk on, walk on. And she was just sent on one, she's not describing you as a horse, I want to make sure I haven't interpreted that wrong. She's just talking about giving you this little pat on the bum, walk on, walk on. Next move is yours, okay? Accept her love and mine. Thank you very much, that was your message. Folks, those of you online, I think some of you had picked up bits and pieces of this. Know that if I didn't come to you and I wasn't with you, that your loved ones are, of course, with you. And much we spoke about those spiritual gifts. You know that your loved ones are with you. They're learning how to pick up the walkie-talkie, how to communicate with you, how to talk with you. And if you felt in some way drawn to a particular loved one today, like Debbie that was talking about her aunt, then know that they were very likely with you. It's just we didn't have the time to get round to everybody today. No, there is a life after life. If there is one truth of spiritualism I can give you all today, it's my absolute belief in that. And hopefully what I've done is give you some evidence of some of those wonderful characters, those loved ones of ours, evidence of their life after life. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ashley Robinson, thank you. Right, friends, we've come to the end of our service now, but we're going to have a few adverts from Richard. VIP members evening tonight, mediumship and development, every Sunday from 8 o'clock. This is a Zoom meeting for the VIP members of Spiritual Psychics TV. Brunch with SPTV, and that's all there on screen for you to be part of. Brilliant. Psychic artists tomorrow. So those of you who are perhaps new to spiritualism and have never seen a psychic artist work, that's a very good meeting to join and see. Matt and Kirsty tomorrow evening. And that's me lot. Richard at Spiritual Psychics TV, thank you very much for producing our show again today. And thank you all for being here, both in the church and virtually. And I would ask Ashley to close our meeting with prayer. Oh, next week's medium is Leslie Knight. I'm not sure if she'll be here or from home.
Not Leslie Knight anymore.
Oh, no, it's not Leslie Knight.
Leslie Moulton.
Leslie Moulton.
Okay. Please join me as we close in prayer, folks. It's with love and joy in our hearts that we ask a blessing upon our service today, and for the church family, you, the congregation here at Wimbledon, and the virtual congregation on Facebook and YouTube today. May you have a safe journey home from Wimbledon, and may you have a safe day for those that are watching from home. May the committee and volunteers here remain mindful of our obligations of keeping these doors open when safe to do so. We acknowledge all the hard work done by all of the volunteers, from the people that help with the cleaning and the tea making and the turning on and off of the lights and resetting the computer to get Skype working. Thank you to you all. We thank God and our spirit friends who have blessed us with their presence and their companionship. I ask a blessing upon all of the homes represented here and the families therein. So we depart according to and leave this church and this divine service in peace. Amen.
Well, friends, thank you all very much for being here. Say, Reverend Leslie Moulton, next Sunday is our medium, and I look forward to you all being with us and joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, Ashley Robinson, and all of us, both seen and unseen, I wish you a good afternoon and have a wonderful time. And once again, Richard James of Spiritual Psychics TV, thank you very much indeed. Good afternoon, friends. Bye-bye.
Spiritual Psychics TV, bringing spiritual people together.